Hey y'all, happy Sunday. Welcome back. It is me, BrittReacts, and today we're going to react to another clip from the Joe Rogan podcast. This one is featuring Andrew Schulz, and he's talking about an epiphany he had about Charlie Kirk and social media, and it's super relevant to my channel, I think, based on the title. Let's find out together. I got my fingers crossed. It's been a week, guys. Just got to exhale. It's been a week.
Joe Rogan experience.
Wild times. Wild times when people celebrate people getting killed now. Like, that never happened before. Like, even when someone bad got killed before, you're like, oh, wow, that's kind of crazy.
I've been thinking a lot about this.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, I don't think we all exist in the same reality anymore. Not on some multiverse shit,
right.
but, like, just, like, how
we see the world.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's, like, especially with Charlie's death, because I was in Australia when it happened, so, like, I had time. Like, I wasn't doing pods, I wasn't doing stand-up, I'm just, like, sitting around in a trailer all day this movie, so I, like, started watching, like, a bunch of his stuff. Also, I want to say he did something really cool. Like, I didn't really know him, but, like, you DM'd a couple times, but he saw a headline about me once, and he DM'd me. And, like, I don't even have a relationship with this guy. He goes, this headline looks a little weird. Like, I know we don't really know each other, but, like, is this what you meant? And, like, there are people who I know I've considered colleagues that haven't even afforded that to me. Yeah. They just ran with a headline and, like, made a video, got clicks, views, or whatever like that.
Right.
Like,
Okay. I said this was relevant to my channel because you guys know I've kind of decided that unless it's one of his debates, I don't really want to react to anything that's going to be polarizing about Charlie. But I think what it has done is also, for me, just shown me how much so many of us downplay or underestimate the power of social media and the bubble we create with our own social media. And we all think we all have the same experience, and we don't. And when I saw this title, I'm like, I bet you that's exactly what Andrew Schulz is going to be talking about. And it seems like he's headed that way. But I think that's also important what he just said about Charlie Kirk. I think, at least for me, much more of his character has been unearthed in his passing. People just really expressing, like, I may not have liked what he said or agreed with everything he said or believed in what he believed in, but as a character, this man had good character. He was just a decent human being. And for someone to reach out to Andrew Schulz and want to ask for clarification on something rather than running with it or just shoving it off should just show you that he really did, I think, believe in where society was going. That's someone who cares to say, like, hey, also we're in the same, like, realm as far as media and how media can misconstrue things, or they can put out a title of something and people just think it's the truth. And so I don't know, to me, I think that speaks volumes on the type of person that he was, to just reach out to this man and say, like, don't know you. Sorry, that was moving my laptop. But I want to just, like, this seems a little weird. Is this true? That speaks to who someone is and what their intentions are, and that they seemed hopeful and maybe looking for the good in something rather than just accepting the bad, because that's what was given. And I think a lot of us could take a breath and think, like, do we just accept what we're told? Do we just accept what we see on social media? Do we just accept these vlogs and these blogs and these entertainment news outlets as law? Or do we decide to go and do our own research or reach out even to the people in our lives? If we hear something, do you just shut down and cut off a friend because you heard something? Or do you go straight to the source and try to figure it out because you want to problem solve? And I think that that's the bigger thing. Is like, are you individually, me, you, whoever's watching this, willing to make ourselves uncomfortable by having discourse, confronting things? Or would we rather just believe what we see and allow it to shape anything moving forward? Just asking a question.
yeah. They just ran with a headline and, like, made a video, got clicks, views, or whatever like that.
Right.
Like, this guy I don't even know hits me up and goes, is this what you meant?
Yeah.
Very cool.
I met him
That is
once
a cool
at a gun
thing.
range.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, I met him at Terran
That's so
Tactical.
random.
So I was down there training. Do you know what Terran
This is
Tactical
the one where
is?
you see, like, a lot of, like,
Yes,
celebs.
the
that go-
one where you
yeah.
see celebs. He trained Keanu Reeves for John Wick. He's the man. Like, Taron Butler is like a multiple-time world champion shooter of those, the events that they have where it's timed, or a shooter ready,
Yeah.
So I met him there.
That's so outside of my
Seemed like
world.
a real nice guy. You know, I didn't know anything about him back then. I didn't know much about his beliefs and views that were controversial until after he got killed. And then
think
people
that's a
started
lot of
sending me
people.
stuff. And I was like, okay, what's the context of this?
That's the
yeah,
thing.
he
There's-
shouldn't have said it that way. There was some ones that we've talked about before. One specifically, you know, but look, the fucking guy, first of all, was 31 years old.
Yeah.
All right. When I was 31, thank God there wasn't.
I think that's a beautiful point. Some of y'all really don't like Joe Rogan, and I don't understand why. I don't take everything Joe Rogan says at face value or as correct or law, but I think Joe is open to talking to anyone about anything. He's open to talking through things and processing them as they happen. I don't know. I just like, what's wrong with that? But that is a brilliant point of view. This man is 31. He was 31 and he's accomplished more than a lot of us had before we reached 31. But also, I'm 37. I just turned 37. I can't imagine some of my beliefs that I thought at 31, that I thought at 26, that I thought at 21. You know what I mean? This man probably had so much more to decide on and evolve into, but he was 31 and he believed in what he believed in, matter of factly, but he was 31. 2 years prior, he was still in his 20s. No one has grace anymore for the fact that we are evolving human beings every day. And did he say things that offended people? Did he say things? I still have yet to watch something that made me feel offended. There have been some things I've watched of him that made me feel uncomfortable because it's made me think about what I think and what I've always thought to be true. He's made me uncomfortable. He's pushed me outside of my comfort zone in the things that I've always thought as a woman, as a black woman, as a Christian, as an American citizen. But I've yet to be offended by the things I have watched in totality. Now, I can understand how some of y'all have watched some of these clickbaity things and you get all fired up, but I digress. But again, perhaps some of these things that he said, had he had the chance to live and breathe still at 35, at 37, at 41, he would have apologized, or he would have come back and said, you know what, I said this wrong, or I shouldn't have said that, or now I've had some more life to live and I have some more life experience and I've experienced new people in the world who don't believe like me, and now I changed my mind. But he didn't get that opportunity. How many of us have had the opportunity to say, think, do, feel really awful, offensive things, and we've had a chance for redemption? Don't get me on my soapbox, okay? It's Sunday. I just came from church. I don't.
1 years old.
Yeah.
All right. When I was 31, thank God there wasn't like Twitter. Or especially when I was 21.
Yeah.
Oh my God, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. You know, judging like that's like that Nick Fuentes kid. He's like 26. Like, thank God.
Yeah.
It didn't
he'll
exist when
regret
I
so
was
much of that
fucking
stuff, Nick
21.
Fuentes.
Dude, yeah.
I was a fucking moron. I
Yeah.
was a complete moron, like most people, especially if you grow up around morons.
Yeah.
But I think he said a few things that if I was his friend, I would say, don't say it like that. I know what you're trying to say,
Yeah.
but don't ever say, when I go into a cockpit, I hope that the pilot, if he's black, is qualified. I
Yeah.
know what you're trying to say.
Right.
You
Yeah.
shouldn't hire underqualified pilots.
Yeah.
But saying it like that,
Just be-
Right. This is, I think, the one that gets people fired up. And his whole point was DEI, saying if you only hired this pilot because he was black, now every time I see a black pilot, I'm going to question, was he actually qualified, or did he get the job because he was black? And not only are you hurting the pilot by doing that, making people second guess his qualifications, but now you could be putting people in danger because maybe you did just hire this man because he was black. That was his entire point. Do you want to get on a plane and someone is only hired because of the color of their skin? The pilot is flying that plane because of the color of his skin and not because of his qualifications? That was his point. The way he said it and the way they were able to clip it up, jacked up. But his whole point was just saying how DEI is actually opposite of what it claims to be. Because instead of liberating people from being, judged and not hired for something, you're actually making it all about that one thing. Instead of making it about their qualifications, you've now made it only about their gender or their race. That was his point. That was it. That was his point. And I agree with Joe. Like, again, maybe in 5 more years, he would have someone else on his team and everyone around him, too. This is something I've realized since his passing and, like, on social media. Seeing his whole team was young. His whole team was young white males, young white women, young conservative Christian kids who clearly probably also grew up only around other people who talk like them, think like them. And so maybe in 5 more years, he would have been able to have someone on his team that was a little older and wiser, a little more seasoned, a little more, what's the word that they cultured and, you know, traveled and knows how to say things a little better. He would have had a different PR agent. He would have had a different speech writer. I don't know. But he didn't get the opportunity to go back and fix the wrongs, the things. And we all have wrongs. We all have said, done, all types of things. We've all done it. Maybe not on the scale and the views of which he did it, but we've all said things we wish we didn't say. I'm with Joe. Listen. And I did have Twitter when I was 21. And baby, somebody should have taken my phone out of my hand. How about that? How about that?
Because of the color of their skin.
He's probably not hanging out with black people, not knowing how offensive that's going to be
right.
for them. How you got to go, that's not what I meant. Like, you got to, that's not what I meant before you say it.
Yeah.
You got to run it through the filter like, what am I trying to say?
Yeah.
That's
we
a good
all
point. I didn't
don't
think
want
about that.
unqualified people to do dangerous fucking jobs, period. Doesn't matter what race they are. If all of a sudden white people became a minority and they had to start hiring dopey whites,
we'd be upset. He makes that argument a lot. Like, he makes it with sports. You know, he's like, all right, if the NFL is going to be 50% black and, you know, like, so, but again, like, the context is taken out.
Yes.
And I think that's what happened. Like, the algorithm flattens all of us into a two-dimensional person.
The algorithm. Here we go. Here we go.
Only the views that tap into, you know, your biggest insecurities, your biggest fears, not the views, only like the lines we say or the videos, whatever, that tap into those things.
Or what terrible things you want confirmed.
Exactly. Yeah. The things you won't confirm. Like, that's what the algorithm does. And, like, I realized it when I was doing like a promo tour for Life, my last special, right? I would go on a couple pods that like, and like maybe like 10, 15, 20 minutes into the conversation, I would realize like, oh, wow, they have a very different view of me than me.
The New York Times one.
No, well, the New York Times one, I was like expecting it for sure. But even when I went on Dax's podcast, Dax knew me. But his co-host, I was like, oh, she has an idea of me that's like cultivated by the internet and headlines.
Cartoonish.
Exactly. And it's just a flattened version, right? It's like there's really no humanity in it. It's just these are the things that people are saying that I'm saying with no context.
Right.
And then you just create an archetype.
Well said, Mr. Schultz. I've not seen too much of him where he's not in a performative, comedic tone. This feels very three-dimensional. I think that's such a great way to put that. Like, and you can go back to many of my several videos where I'm talking about the algorithm. What was abundantly clear to me in Charlie Kirk's death is that so many people believe what they see on their algorithm is the truth. And that is so dangerous. It's so dangerous because it really is just a culmination of all the things you've liked, you've shared, you've commented on, you've watched for longer than 30 seconds, you've engaged on, you've clicked away from, put together in a scientific way. And it just runs like a fact. There's no humanity, there's no circumstance, there's no happenstance, there's nothing. It just is like, all right, this is the information we did, this is who this person is, this is what they want to see, and it runs out like a fax machine. They don't know you. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know what you've seen. They don't know your traumas. They don't know your happies, your highs, your lows. They don't know any personal things. They just they just take the data, and what's on paper is what you see. And the main thing is they show you what you want to see, not what you need to see. And that's basically what Andrew just said as far as like they show you the bad stuff, the stuff that's going to instill fear, make you angry. They want to keep you angry and stupid. Isn't that what they said when we reacted to Bill Maher Rhymes with Jar? Okay. And so wake up is my point to you. Wake up, unplug, wake up and unplug. I'm not telling you get woke. Please don't get woke. Ugh, y'all know I can't stand that word. Wake up and get unplugged. Put your phone down. Tap into what's going on in the real world. Go to a coffee shop and meet a freaking stranger. Talk to someone who is not like you, who didn't grow up in the same neighborhood as you, who doesn't speak the same way as you, like whatever it is. Unfreaking plug and go touch some grass because the internet is not real. It's not real. especially the one you created in your phone. That one is, I don't have that same experience as you. And I think people really think like, oh, what I see is what everybody else sees. You and I have two very different internet experiences. Wake up, people. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed.
And like, I think in a lot of ways, that's the Charlie thing to the furthest extreme, right? It's just like, if you're on the right, there's one version of Charlie. If you're on the left, there's another version of Charlie.
Right.
And
that's so
when he
true.
died, this person that you saw as like a good, God-fearing man, you're like heartbroken by it. And then on the left, this person you saw that was like bigoted or hateful, you're like, okay, I'm not really heartbroken by it. Some people are even crazy enough to be like, he deserved it, or this is what you get, right? But they can only have that feeling if he's completely dehumanized the version of him that they see all the time. Mm-hmm. That happens to you. It happens to me. It happens to like anybody who's on the internet talking, you know, for a few hours a week. And when I saw that shit, and especially I saw like that this visceral reaction to Charlie, that's what sows the insanity in the country, because the people on the left are seeing the people on the right be heartbroken, but they're like, why are you heartbroken over this guy who's a bigot? And the people on the right are seeing the people on the left celebrating. They're like, why are you celebrating the death of this God-fearing family man? And both sides just think each other is absolutely insane.
But look at that. Both sides are pitted against each other, because that's really the goal. At the end of the day, is to keep us that way. And I don't know who these powers that be are that want to keep us separated, but I believe they're there. I believe they're there.
Yeah.
When in reality, he's neither of those cartoons.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That was good. I really think that was a great way to put that. And I hope a lot of people watch that need to see it. Oh, man. I just... this world. All right. Let me know your thoughts on that. Last week, I let you guys know that my pastor said, if, you know, instead of trying to make a point, make a difference. This week, he said, instead of trying to make, what'd he say? Oh, crap. It's coming. Hold on. Something to the tune of, instead of trying to make an impression or, you know, to look good, try to make an impact. And so I just encourage you this week to try to do something impactful that looks different from what you do every other day. All right. Be kind in the comments. If you can't, kick rocks. Keep it cute. Put it on mute and go and have the day that you deserve. Bye.